Hello yoga friends, and welcome to our second yoga flow class that also contains 108 abs for purification at the end of our practice. And today our yoga flow will be for forward bends. So if you like forward bends and feel good to do them, then please join me and we'll have a great time together and release some stress in the spine and feel really great after practice. So let's just come to our yoga mat and take all fours. For cat cow. We'll spread the fingers nice and wide and tuck the toes under. Have the shoulders and the wrists stacked and find each and every vertebrae and bring some life and some fluidity into them and the spaces in between them, and arch the spine up towards the sky. And hollow the upper arm bones in and exhale. Press your hands, your knees, your toes, and bring the belly into the center and expand the spine. And exhale. And we'll do one more. Exhaling the spine, exhaling the air. Pressing the hands and the knees and the toes down, top of the head towards the floor, and coming into a hollow back and then into neutral spine and step back into downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spreading the fingers, pedaling into the back of the heels, starting to move some energy through the layers from the outside of the body to the innermost layers of the body. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Moving about the way it feels good for the legs, for the ankles, for the knees, for the hips. Press the hands down, come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands and take a step over to the hands. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold. Pressing all the four corners down onto the mat and beyond, and bending in towards the knees so that we can have the ankles and the hips stacked above and below each other and create a nice, good open feeling for the lower back, sacrum, middle back, the whole spine. Inhaling, exhaling, taking the hands to the hips, elbows to the sky, root the feet down, come all the way up to standing. And release the hands down to the side. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. And exhale, hinge and fold. Articulate each and every vertebrae. And then we're going to roll back up from there. Take the arms up to the sky. Palms together and exhale, fold. Bend into your knees. And rolling back up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Press the feet down. Inhale, sweep it all the way up, palms together. Last one, exhale, take it all the way back down. Press the feet, inhale, roll it all the way back up towards the sky. And exhale, hands to the side. Hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the heart, the chest, the lungs. Press the feet down and extend up to exhale and fold forward. Release the hands to the floor. Step to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's bring the feet all the way together. Spread the fingers. Take your right heel up towards the horizon. Bring the ribs towards the midline, in towards the front, and maybe pressing your heel up a little higher by just hugging everything together in towards the midline. Step your foot between the hands and stay nice and low. And extend both legs into pyramid pose, and we'll pulse a little bit back and forth to bring some life in towards the back and the front of the legs. Hip flexors, hamstrings, quads, just kind of starting to open up the pathway for the upper, for the lower body. And we'll do it one more time. Inhale and exhale, and bring both feet so that they're flat on the floor. Long spine, exhale, fold. You might have blocks for your hands. You might be on your fists, so your hands might be underneath the knee somewhere so it's comfortable for you. Press in towards the feet, All four corners are isometrically hugging into the midline of the foot and centering the foot, the ankles, the knees, and then we'll pull the lower belly in and up and take the head towards the knee. Breathing, softening, melting, and exhale, hands to the floor, step it back, downward facing dog. Breathing in towards the palms, in towards the arms, through the shoulders, down towards the hips, into the legs, all the way down to the feet. Bring the feet back together. Step your left leg up towards the horizon and maybe a little bit higher up if you feel like you have nice integration in towards your hips, in towards your back, and feel connected muscle in towards the bones. Step your left foot between the hands and come nice and low down into a low supported lunge. Bring it all the way up into the heart space and exhale. Press the feet and come into pyramid pose, and then we'll pulse that a few times back and forth, drinking it all the way in, and then exhaling, bowing, and bringing some energy flow through the hamstrings, through the quads, and through the spine, all sides. We'll do one more. Exhale, inhale, and find your way into pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Hands can come to the mat or a block or blocks. Pull the left hip back and your right hip forward. Hands to the front and bow your head towards the leg. Pressing all four corners of your feet down. Expanding the back body by contracting the front body. A few more breaths here. And exhale, hands to the floor. Step it back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come all the way forward to your plank pose and lower your knees to the floor. Come all the way to the floor. Inhale into your cobra. Inhale to the front side and expand into the chest so that we can fold into a forward bend and maybe dig a little deeper into the layers. Take child's pose. One breath in child's pose and make your way back to downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. From your hands, extend out and away, and at the same time bring energy through the palms, so it's like a total pulsation all at the same time through the side body, down to the hips, down to the ankles. Bring your feet all the way back together and strong shoulders and arms and abs as you lift your right leg up. Step your right foot between the hands. Come up high on your back toes. Take your hands to the inside of your right foot and ankle and either stay right here with your hands on blocks or floor, or arch your spine maybe a little bit more and come onto your forearms. Palms together, and we can move it a little bit back and forth. It's a nice kind of flowy movement. It does not have to be a static hold. Certainly could be, but I like to move through the layers a little bit and kind of check in with the adductors, the hamstrings, the hip flexors, and hands to the floor. Step it back, downward facing dog. Spread the fingers. Take a nice deep breath in down dog. Bring your feet back together. Sweep the left leg up towards the sky from a nice, steady, stable hold in the shoulders and in the arms. Step your left foot between the hands. Take a nice low supported lunge. Hands to the inside of your left foot. Arch your spine up towards the sky, like a nice big expansion to the back body by hugging the front side together. Hands to floor, to block, or forearms to floor or block. Be creative and do what works for you. And then I like to just move a little bit back and forth here to move through the layers of the hamstrings, of the quads, of the hip flexors, and exhale. exhale, release hands to the floor, step it back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And let's take another roll over into plank pose. Expand the back body, hug the front body, and take the knees to the floor. Come all the way down and inhale to cobra, a little counter stretch from expanding the back body. Then we'll take that space and take it into a back bend. Exhale, release, bring it back down. Push back, child's pose, big toes together, knees apart. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones. One more breath here. And exhale, inhale, come into your downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press into the palms, sink in towards the heels. Bring your feet back together. Take your right leg up to the horizon and open your right hip and take your heel towards your buttocks and sink your left heel down to the floor and get a nice extension on the back side of your left leg and a nice open right hip. Sweep your right leg underneath you for pigeon pose. Taking your right knee over towards the right side. Maybe hike your left leg behind you. You can kind of check and see that it's straight back so that you're on the front of the quad and not on the inner thigh. Take your forearms to the floor or blocks, pillows. You can take your arms all the way forward. Press your palms down, bring the front side together, expand into the back body. Take your forehead to the mat or something more comfortable that you might have, like a pillow or a sweatshirt or a towel or something. Give yourself another nice juicy breath here. As we open in towards the hips, we are also creating more fluidity and mobility in towards the spine for forward bending. Hands to the floor and take it back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Feet together. Take your left leg up to the horizon and open your left hip and bend your knee so that your left heel comes down towards your right buttocks and your right heel sinks towards the floor. Stretching fully into the right back of the leg and the left front. Sink your left leg underneath you for pigeon, please. Walk your right leg back. You can take a little check on your right leg, that it's straight back so that you're on the front of your right quad. Come down to your forearms or your blocks or pillows or what you might have to make your practice comfortable. Sinking down, take the arms forward if it's for you. Coming into your forward fold, pigeon pose. Active left foot, active left shin, pressing down. Creating more space for the hips, for the left hip, for the rotators. More space to open up in the lower, middle, and upper back. Press the palms. You can lift the upper arm bones and have a total active pigeon pose. One more breath. And exhale. Bring your hands to the shoulders. Come back up, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Breathe through all the layers of the body. And we'll roll forward to plank pose for our last little vinyasa style transition. Take the knees to the floor, lower to the floor. Inhale to cobra. You can spread all the 10 toes behind you. Inhale, drink it into the heart space. Bring your shoulders back, bring your ears back. And exhale, release. And come to child's pose, big toes together, knees apart. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones, and gently make your way back to downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your feet wide apart and come into feet wide apart pose, Prasarita Padottanasana. Take your hands flat on the floor, straighten your arms, and we'll do a couple of cat-cows here too, expanding in towards the back body, hollowing towards the spine, And again, you can give yourself a smile because it's kind of fun to get all that space in towards the spine just by hugging the front side. One last time, and then gently come back to neutral spine, hands to hips, bend into the knees, come up to standing, take your arms out to the side, and you can take the gaze up and anchor down into the legs and the feet, and exhale, hands behind you, roll your shoulders up and back, and hinge and fold into forward fold, feet wide apart, Prasarta Padottanasana C. Press into the feet, bend into the knees so you have a nice connection for the upper and the lower body, and down into the earth. You might take your arms up and over and stretch a little deeper in towards the shoulders. Top of the head towards the floor. Heel of the hands together if it's available. Breathing, moving through the layers. And exhale, release the hands to the sacrum, hands to the floor, and take your hands back to downward facing dog. Please step your way back to your downward facing dog pose, spreading fingers, heels towards the floor, saturating each and every layer with your breath, firing up the muscles, skin to muscle, muscle to bone. One more breath here. And then come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, take a step or a hop over to your hands. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold. Take the peace fingers around the big toes and have your feet hip widths apart. You can have your feet hip widths apart. Inhale, long spine. And then from here, we're going to take all that nice juiciness that we created in the spine and exhale and fold forward, pressing the feet strongly down, bending in towards the knees. Hips and ankles are stacked above and below each other, elbows out to the side, releasing the neck, shoulders away from the ears. One more breath right here, and then gently stretch the arms, straighten the arms, take your hands underneath your feet and come to a hand and foot pressure forward fold, Hasta Padasana. Press the feet onto the ball of the hand, spread your fingers, elbows to the side, and get a little bit into a different version of your forward fold right here. Breathing, softening, melting, stretching out the whole back side of the body. And then slowly release and take your hands onto the floor. Support yourself as you come to a seat and take your hands behind you. And we're going to stretch the legs forward and do a couple of seated forward folds and also come into a plow pose. And then we are almost towards our 108 rolling abs today. Take your right foot and put it flat on the floor. Take your right arm up to the sky and the left hand is supporting you out onto the side like this. And take your right arm over towards your left foot, and you can take that left hand forward towards your line with the knee, or maybe even a little bit more forward. Inhale, long spine, and we might sit right here. The right foot is flat on the floor, the left foot is flexed. And bend your right elbow to the side. Maybe you take that right arm forward, flip your palm up to the sky, and take your right arm behind you for Mariegreenyoga A. Right hand can find the left fingers or the wrist, and then we'll pull the lower belly, middle belly, all the way in and up, and take the top of the head towards the right knee and expand more into the back body by hugging the front side together. The right sit bone is off the floor, and we're simply just enjoying a nice, strong, and relaxing opening forward fold for that lower middle back. One more breath, and then gently take it all the way up and switch sides. Stretch your right leg out. Take your left foot flat on the floor, the knee is straight up. Take your left arm up and hinge and fold. Take your right hand inside your left hand inside your right foot. And then your right hand can be aligned with your knee. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Take your head towards your knee, and you might stay here, or you might take that left arm, stretch it forward, rotate your arm, and take your palm up to the sky. Find your hands behind you, or take your shirt or your tank top or something, or a strap that might bind you together. And then we'll pull the lower belly in and expand into the back body and come into our seated forward fold, Mariegreenyoga A. Top of the head faces over towards the foot, and the forehead is down towards the knee. Roll the shoulders up and back and extend your spine. Lots of space for the spine. One more breath right here. And gently come all the way back up. Release the hands. Take your legs forward and bend the knees, bend at the ankles, and step back to downward facing dog. Get a little flow for the legs, for the ankles, for the newly made space in the hips, to be able to find more space for each and every vertebrae. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, take your step, your walk, your hop over to a seat. And take your arms up towards the sky. Bring your ribs in, hinge and fold. Come forward for forward fold, Paschimottanasana. We might have our hands underneath the knees. They might be towards the ankles. We might have a strap. Moving, breathing, expanding the back body. And slowly take it all the way back up. And we're going to bring the knees into the chest. And just hug it in for a moment. Feels good to give ourselves a hug from all the lost hugs the last month. So we give ourselves a nice little knee hug. And we get a little remembrance of expanding the spine right here too. So anchor down through the seat. Bring the lower belly in. Take your peace fingers around your big toes and come to a seated forward fold. With your peace fingers around your thumbs, around your big toes, or if this doesn't feel comfortable, take your hands underneath your knees always and support yourself here. If not, take your hands, take your fingers and thumbs, big toes together. Inhale, long spine. You can look up towards the sky and extend the spine. And then from here, you can bend your elbows out to the side. Come into seated forward fold, feet up towards the sky. And exhale, release. And take your legs all the way down and forward. Arms to the front. We're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae as best as we can. Bend your knees at any time. Excellent. Hands to the floor. And arrange any ponytails. We're going to roll with our legs up towards the sky. Just going to take the legs all the way up towards the sky, palms down, press the hands, and maybe we'll stay here and have a good experience with some weight down onto the hips, and maybe that feels really good for the spine. The next option is to take the legs up and over for plow pose. Roll the shoulder blades underneath you and take the hands, interlace them, and maybe straighten your arms out. And then we'll stay right here and enjoy a forward fold with our legs up and over the head. Creating space for the lower back, middle back. And gently release the hands, palms down, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. And bend your knees in, and we give ourselves one more hug. You can take your head up towards your knees and then slowly release and take it all the way down. I'm gonna situate myself on my mat, and you might do the same. And we are going to start our journey of 108 abs, which is of course fun and creates some strength and stability for our core, but it also, for me, has a good meaning of also purifying our organs and moving the breath a little deeper. So we'll take it to whichever part we want. Either it's for only the core, or it's for our digestive system, or it's for our lungs, or it's for all of it. So have fun with it. We are going to roll vertebrae by vertebrae up. So you might have your feet flat on the floor. You might have a strap around your feet to help to roll up, or we might have the hands around the legs. We'll see how it goes. Here we go, 108. So let's take a nice exhale and inhale, and then roll it all the way up. And we have another 107 together. So the key would be to roll through the vertebrae here. You might have straight legs. Maybe that's your practice. The key would be to find that lower back and untie knots so that the organs have a nice place to kind of find maybe a new home in there, so that they are more in towards the core. Sometimes they kind of start to kind of fall out a little bit if we get too stiff in the lower back. Then you have no place to go but out and forward. And we'll just keep this going, and we'll make that 10 right here. And exhale, 11. And 12. 13. And 14. 15. 16. And 17. And 18. And 20. And if it for some reason doesn't feel good for the neck and the shoulders, then just stay down onto the back and do abdominal crunches with your hands behind your neck. 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29, and 30, and we're almost there. We have a few left, and it's gonna feel really good and like a normal thing to do every day. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40, 58 left, 51, 52. We can do this. It's easy. It's a very short time of our day, really. And 53, 54, 55, 54, 57, 58, 59, and 60. 61, 62, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70, and we only have 38 left. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, and 8, and 79, and 80, just 28, it's a piece of cake, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, oh my goodness, it's almost over, and 108 more, 101, and 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, and one more, 108, and then we'll roll back down, and excellent. Stretch your arms and your legs opposite direction, and then we're gonna bring the knees in, come on up, cross our legs, sit on something comfortable, and we will take all that juiciness that we created in our organs and pump the breath, fire breath, 3 rounds of 33 counts to just summon anything that we stirred up, and we'll just kind of stir the pot and burn it off and out. And then that would be our purification ending of class. So let's take and make fists out of our hands. They got arms out to the side, thumbs up to the sky. Thumbs are representing fire element in our bodies, and I like to use them. So we'll take an inhale and exhale. There's like really no explanation. And then we exhale halfway out, and then we'll pump the breath. We inhale halfway in, pump the breath. We'll take 3 rounds of Ujjayi first. So let's extend our wings out, shoulder blades down on the back, straighten the arms. And we can remember that the arms is a nice extension of our heart center, of our lungs, of our breath. So we'll just let those lungs air out when we pump our breath. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. the breath out, empty everything out in the lower belly. Thumbs together. Bring back down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale halfway in and pump it. Exhale, hold it, thumbs together, overhead. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale halfway, and last round of 33. Exhale, thumbs together, overhead. Retention, holding the breath out. And bring your arms to the side. Inhale. And exhale, hands to the knees, palms facing up. And we'll just savor all of that together for 3 breaths of nice, easy, mellow Ujjayi breaths. Letting all the layers find its new place to be. And coming into normal breathing. And just sitting for a moment together. Sitting tall on the sit bones with a nice elongated spine. Free and clear breath. And gently bring the hands together in front of the heart. And I want to thank you very much for joining here in our virtual classroom. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And I look forward to seeing and meeting you in the next class, which will be a yoga flow with twists and also 108 abs in a different form with some fire breath. For now, I hope that you have fun with this practice for a few days, and we'll end our class with an Om together to let all the layers fall into the right place in our outer and inner bodies, and then we'll take a Shavasana together. Thank you so much again, and let's take a nice big inhale and join our voices. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a nice, yummy, cozy Shavasana with a blanket over you, and let all of those poses and rolls and fire breaths find a nice place to reside in our layers of our physical and energetic body.